Hey everybody, welcome to Hype episode 10. What's going on? What's up? Joining me today we have Kev, Dinsdale, Canny, and Broseph. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, seven.
Oh, Shavard.
Oh, shit.
We've been
Kevin
spitballing
has
for...
to take that fucking hat off.
Nope.
Oh, San Fran. Touch the logo. Molested. Right off the bat here, guys, we're just going to get into a little bit of news in the video game world, and then we'll jump into some games. So, those of you that don't know, BlizzCon kicked off yesterday, and there's some big updates out there. First of which, for Kev's number one poop sock game, World of Warcraft. There's a there's a new expansion coming out. It's going to have 7 new zones in it. Newcomers are going to be able to boost a single character to level 90 to enjoy the new content immediately. You're also going to have 6 new 5-player dungeons already added at launch. 2 new raids planned. And a new implementation for seamless instance PvP. So I guess you just walk right into a zone and it's PvP. You know, normally you would load in, but load time is... I mean, if you have a solid state, you're in there in like 5 seconds, so it's kind of pointless.
Load times on WoW were never an issue, really, anyway.
Agreed. Some new world bosses, and they're redoing the character models again, updating
they're
them.
revamping the graphics.
Yeah, trying to keep WoW fresh. Trying is the
Keyword there.
Yeah.
So
And then,
speaking from a former poop soccer from vanilla all the way up till mid Cataclysm or whatever. Yeah, this is nothing new. I mean, they're always going to add 5-player dungeons and at least a beginner raid at launch. I don't know what the expansion is. I purposely walled myself off from that kind of stuff anymore because I would seriously start poop socking it again.
yeah.
You know, it's based off of a super old engine from circa 2006 or something like that. There is not much more that you're going to be able to revamp to make it look nice and shiny.
Mm-hmm.
WoW is pretty much on its last legs insofar as storyline for the game is concerned. So I think you're seeing probably either the last or the next to last expansion on that.
The very last thing they're going to be adding to it is customizable garrisons, where you can pimp out. It's basically the housing type thing. You pimp out your house. You're going to have NPCs, your own blacksmith, that kind of stuff. NPCs.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Seems like they're pulling a lot of cool stuff from other games that had player housing and kind of pull all the best bits and bring it into WoW. So.
Well, WoW had fought against player housing for years because they said, well, since inception, because they said it would basically make the capital cities empty. Because people would spend all the time in their houses and everything like that, which I understand. And if you went into Stormwind, there was a grate there was like a river or whatever flowing through the middle of Stormwind, and towards the one far end there was a grate, and it was walled off, and you could see an instance portal there, and that was originally where the player housing was supposed to go. Yeah, they nixed it and they never removed the portal. So I guess enough people. I mean, I don't know. Brian, you played WoW in the beginning too. It was a lot more hardcore then, and I'm not like one of those really hardcore poop sockers for WoW, but it seems like now it's really, they're just really dumbing it down to the point of, you know, hey, you want to re-roll a new character, go ahead and boost it to level 90 and go, you know what I mean? It's like, I had like the max amount of characters you could have at max level and stuff, and I played every single one of them. And I had to go from 1 to, at that it was 85 or 80 or something like that. I don't know. It's just, yeah, not my thing.
Well, the thing about WoW that I've noticed over the years is Blizzard advertise how many active subs they have, not necessarily how many active players they have. So I think when they come out with these new expansions, they lure in a lot of old subs, and they end up doing sometimes that annual thing. You know, you get some perks, some bonuses in game, and you're signed up for a year. And I mean, that adds to their numbers. That's a lot of money to get sucked in at once, and no commitment from the player. Like, the player doesn't have to play, and they already have that money.
Well, I poop sock so hardcore. I knew people, and I played with people that had not active players. They do it, but it's active subs. And some people had 3 or 4 different accounts, which each account is a sub.
Yeah.
So they could be counting the same person 3 or 4 times just because you're out of character slots or whatever.
Yeah.
In China, they pay.
Gold.
Gold. They love gold. They actually pay. I don't know if it's by the hour or something like that, but they pay completely different than we would hear per monthly. It's really funky how they do it. So that inflates their numbers as well.
Yeah.
But they have lost subs since the Cataclysm expansion came out, and I see them. People aren't really willing to. That's why you see a lot of newer MMOs while they have sucked ass. The one standard that they've gone to is kind of like a free to play model where you have the option to sub every month and you get certain perks, or they have an online store where you can buy certain things when you want them.
Yeah.
And that's why I think you're seeing WoW's numbers also decrease. Plus, it's not a pretty game, and people go for shinies nowadays.
True.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's blow through the rest of the news here, guys. Diablo 3 is getting an expansion called Reaper of Souls, also announced at BlizzCon. It's going to implement clans or a new group system, adventure mode, bounties that you can put on other players, so get ready to hide in a town because you're going to have a bounty on your head. People are going to want that money. A new artisan profession called Mystic. And then you're also going to be able to transmog gear, which I think is a cool feature. Sometimes you find some cool looks in that game and you want to stick with that look overall, and now you can do that with transmogging. Next on the list is the PS4 release coming out on November 15th. I know a lot of you guys are excited for that.
Good release date.
Yeah.
Pre-Christmas.
Definitely.
I mean, a lot of parents are going to be getting that for their kids, and Dinsdale will be getting it for himself, and then, things like that.
Fuck yeah.
I'll go out and buy it, and I'll wrap it, and I just cut holes in the back to plug it in and out, but other than that, that's a good release date, I think.
Yeah. Well, they're also going to have some cool features at launch for some new people that are picking it up. They're going to have a 30-day free trial for PlayStation Plus members, so people that want to just jump right in and enjoy some of that online content will be able to. 30-day free music unlimited service, which I don't really care too much about, but that is something neat, just be able to...
Pandora?
Pretty much the equivalent of it.
Yeah, it's their version.
Their version. And $10 credit to their PlayStation Network store wallet or whatever you want to call it. So they have $10 to put towards a game or something like that, which is kind of nice. Free $10.
Is that only for pre-order? Or is that for anybody who orders?
That's anybody who picks it up kind of like day one, or like I think the first launch of the consoles.
It's a day one special, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then last on the list here, Call of Duty Ghosts got some mixed reviews this week, but
Should I just leave right now?
You're good.
Worst.
But I just wanted to mention that it is the bonus XP weekend. I'm sure those of you that do own the game know this, but it started yesterday and it goes through Monday, 6 p.m. GMT. So get that double XP, dog. Drink the Mountain Dew, put them codes in, and all that shit.
Get the socks and the pee bottles ready, bros.
Yeah.
Going hardcore.
So that's all I got for news. Why don't we start with Canny today?
All right, I have Planetary Annihilation.
Ooh la la, what's that? Tresemme.
It looks a lot like Supreme Commander.
Okay.
It's an RTS, except it's not just a flat plane anymore.
Ooh.
You can play on different planets, and you can fight between planets.
Like space combat between planets?
Absolutely.
Oh shit, that's hot. Wow.
And it's like in a 3D texture?
Yeah, I'm throwing something in... Oh, no. Shit. Don't do that.
That's Candy's porn video. Don't click that.
Doing the truffle shuffle.
I don't know what that was.
We know.
Uh-oh.
No, we know.
Now, you can... It kind of combines StarCraft, Supreme Commander, and you can fight between planets. You can move between solar systems. It's a whole lot of things going on.
Does it have like a single player campaign, or is it multiplayer as well? What do you know?
It's multiplayer. You can do your single player standalone, or you can also go online and play it.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. You've seen me play RTSs on my stream, like Empire,
Yes.
Total War, Napoleon, stuff like that. Are we talking about like that level insofar as like if you're playing single player and you come up against an enemy army, you can go ahead and then immerse yourself into that battle. It'll bring it up, and then you're like pew 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 all over the place, and you're and stuff like that, or is it still like an constant overhead type of deal, but but you've got more 3D aspects to say like the planetary surface or what have you?
I don't know how to answer that, Kev.
Yes, no.
It seems like a larger scale RTS.
I like that.
With 40 people in a server, they're saying up to 40 players.
Wow.
And that would get pretty chaotic.
And it's built to mods, so people can do like Battlestar Galactica mods or Star Wars mods and pimp the game out and make it a different kind of skin. That's nice.
I would just hope that that kind of modding stuff would not be available in a multiplayer setting, because if somebody did like Battlestar Galactica or the USS Enterprise and they go ahead and just start picking everybody, you know.
I want that. Yes, I
You
want
know what
that.
I'm saying?
Fuck yo, Enterprise! I got missiles from the BSG, dog. It's going down.
Yo, Enterprise, son. Fuck you, Picard.
Oh, here come the Reapers. God damn it.
Oh, jeez.
I want that. Fuck yeah.
Shepard!
But anyway,
Looks good, I don't know.
Yeah,
it looks like it's coming out in December of this year.
cool.
You can get in early for $40. There's 4 different levels that you can get in at. There's a $40 level, $60, and anything over the $40 level is instant access for the beta.
Cool. I likey.
It's definitely a game that I'm going to be playing at some point.
I'll tell you what, just looking at that YouTube video real quick, just kind of scrolling through it, it does look like a lot of the RTSs I play. So that might be something I'd be interested in. Because something like Shogun and Empire Total War would really, and Medieval Total War too, is what gets, and Rome, which I haven't picked up yet. What really gets me immersed into it is, yeah, you go around, you start conquering the known world and all this kind of stuff. You got to deal with diplomacy, which doesn't look like this has in it, but you immerse yourself into the actual battle itself.
Well, you have to build
I'm putting in my drink
everything
order
from,
with my
from the
son.
bottom up, and that's what I really like about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
start from nothing.
There's an immersion part to it, to where you're not like, and I apologize, I've seen your streams, Kenny, with Supreme Commander. I don't understand the game, and that's probably because I'm dense, but it looks just a lot of, here you have this amount, very StarCraft 2-ish. You have this amount of resources, you go ahead and build all this kind of stuff, and then you go and rape the enemy. Whereas with other RTSs that I'm used to playing with, and especially like, there's an immersion part to it. Like, if you want to go so far as like Victoria 2, where I have to deal with economy and all this other kind of stuff, this looks like something that could hold my attention, actually. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it looks kind of Transformer-ish, too.
Yeah, there's mechs and shit, and
Yeah.
Wiki brought up the point they showed in the YouTube trailer I was just watching. You can actually like mount thrusters onto an asteroid and launch it at another planet, and then that's pretty much how the planetary annihilation, you
Annihilate Buenos Aires, bro.
yeah, seriously.
Starship
Kill them all! I'm
Troopers.
doing my part.
Thank you, bud.
Cool. Well,
That's
thank
awesome.
you, Canny. I appreciate it, man. That was a good game. I'll have to check it out too. Let's get into Dins.
Well,
Sexually.
interesting.
Sexually.
Whoa.
Wait, what are we putting
Hi.
in, Dins?
I'm bending over, Dins.
Whoa.
Oh, my lord.
Interesting enough, I was just looking at where that came from. That was a Kickstarter game that was pledged. They wanted $900,000 and they got $2,229,000. So the Planetary Annihilation game was a very successful Kickstarter. And one of the ones I wanted to talk about was a Kickstarter game called Gridlock Tactics.
You have a link?
I do. Let me try and get it here out of the chat. It is a
probably one of the best things that ever hit the gaming industry.
yes and no. It's had some problems, but I think it's an interesting concept, and it lets us get games that wouldn't normally get the green light from big companies to try and get the funding. So that's why it's great. This is kind of a strategy game, a turn-based strategy game, sort of like Shadowrun Returns. They really harken back to Final Fantasy Tactics and Front Mission 3, which is a game I'm probably going to stream soon because I really want to get into that again. It's been a long time. And that was a PS1 game. And it's, the concept is this dystopian future of mutants and cyborgs and how they survive in the world, and they have different powers and classes, and the humans are kind of like the commandos. And I think it looks like an interesting game. It's still kind of new, and they haven't done a lot of the artwork or animations to the point where I'm like, I'm really, really sold, but I'm very confident they have enough experience to pull something cool off. And I really love those types of games. Final Fantasy Tactics was a game I played probably too much for when I had it. It was a bit of an addiction, and I still love going back and playing on PS3. I bought it on there even just to go play it. So I'm hoping for good things with this Gridlock Tactics game.
Yeah, like looking at the combat here in the Kickstarter video is fucking cool. It looks like a cell shaded cartoon looking, but it's very strategy based. He just called in some kind of orbital strike and like blew up the guy's cover and killed the guy. It was really cool looking.
Yeah, I think they even said that they use 3D graphics, so it's not. I mean, it looks cell shaded. It has an interesting animation style, but they're allowing for the cameras to really go where you want them to.
Like XCOM,
and like XCOM, right?
Mm-hmm. What it reminds me, just looking at like when you load up your link and it has just a static picture for the YouTube video or whatever it is. At first thought, it reminded me of what Gotham looks like in one of the Batman games. Like Arkham Asylum or something like that, or Arkham City. It looks really good. Meaning, it looks really good to me because I'm a Batman game whore. So I mean, that looks really, really good. That looks neat.
Cool. Well, thank you, Dens. That looks very cool. I definitely bookmarked that. Getting into the main event here, Mr. BB. We're going to be talking about Destiny.
All right. Well, as far as everybody knows, Destiny, big shooter coming from Bungie Studios since their last game, little side of Halo Reach. Back note, they've been working on it in secret since 2008 under the name Project Tiger. Exactly.
Project Tiger. Aslan ought to like that.
Oh, yeah. And it's first and foremost a first-person shooter, but Activision and Bungie, they're calling it a shared world shooter, which basically means it's got MMO aspects, but it's not really a full MMO because you're not playing with everybody at once. They figured out a formula on how to do on-the-fly matchmaking. So when you have a public event versus AI, such as the Fallen, like they showed in the trailers, like whoever fires within this radius, they automatically appear to you and you all start to fight together. Which is a pretty cool aspect of the game that I thought was pretty interesting.
Okay. Sounds like Defiance's little group events.
Yeah, it definitely does a little bit there, yeah.
It kind of sounds like to me like a combo between, and follow me here, okay? I don't mean to offend anybody.
That's all right.
Call of Duty, Halo, Dirt Defiance, and semi-MMO type of aspect. Would that be correct? Like you're kind of merging all those.
Don't forget the Borderlands bit because it does have the guns. It has the guns.
Too, yeah.
Okay.
What Bungie tried to explain is that they're trying to take what they consider the best from all these different genres of games and make it one game that can cater to not just the first-person shooter players, but the MMO players and the action-adventure players. Just fit it all together. Because even though it's a first-person shooter, when you enter the city hub, it becomes a third-person interactive area where you can trade, sell, all this different stuff you can do within the city itself.
Okay, so it's going to be multi-platform, correct? We're talking PC, PS4, I'm going to assume, and Xbox One?
They haven't announced a PC version, but they're going to do it on current gen, Xbox 360 and PS3, and the next gen, which is going to be PS4 and Xbox One. And they've already stated that they're going to have exclusive content that'll only be available to the PS4 that no other console is going to get.
Okay, so... All right, so let's eliminate PC there for a second. So all Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, and PS4 people, when it comes to the MMO aspect of the game where you're playing with other people, are they going to be cross-platform, you're going to be able to play, like I get it for Xbox 360, you get it for PS4, say. Are we going to be able to, in those times where it's a multiplayer event or what have you, are we going to be able to go ahead and play together, or is it going to be like GTA?
It's going to be
over here.
Just like GTA. It's going to stick, to that platform. It's not going to be able to cross-platform 360 and 1 or PS3 to PS4 at all. They're just going to stick it to that specific platform.
Okay. See, that's my only problem with console-only type of games like that. Is because if for some reason, and I don't know if it's the architecture with the software between the PlayStation and the Xbox or something like that, but there is, like, in my opinion, there's a huge market there for cross-platforming a game. You cross-platform a game, a lot of people are going to buy it. And they just haven't figured out a way to make it so that you can play cross-platform with your friends. And I think once they figure that out, I think it's probably because they're afraid to piss off Microsoft and Sony. You know what I mean? They don't, or Sony and PlayStation don't want to migrate their architecture or something like that together to do that. It's a bummer to me. It really is a bummer. Because, I mean, from a WoW poop soccer, okay? I just gotta say this, from a WoW poop soccer, because this is the only really kind of experience I have. It didn't matter if you were on a Mac or you were on a PC. I mean, yeah, it does kind of matter if you're on a Mac or a PC. But, I mean, we could play together. You know what I'm saying? Same servers, same everything like that. So, I mean, I know it's not the same kind of comparison in a way, because, I mean, Mac is Mac and PC. It's not really a difference in platform, but...
I think it's really a political thing, though. It's not that they couldn't do an architectural sort of structure of having servers link up. It's that Xbox and or Sony and Microsoft don't want to work together. They don't want players crossing over and having security issues, or who they're going to blame if something happens, somebody hacks into something, or frankly they want you to buy it on their system. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is they want you to buy that copy for their system, and not, your buddy gets on a PS3, we're going to play together, but you're going to have some sort of server architecture they're going to be able to get onto from the PlayStation that we, have some part of. Mm-hmm. It's a very political thing. I don't think it's not software-based or technology-based, in my opinion. It's a complete brand thing. We got to keep them separated.
It's really brand-based, which does suck.
And it's sad.
The only cross-platform thing that happened recently was the Steam and PS3. In my opinion, the last thing I remember being a big release was the Portal 2, where if you had a PS3 account, you could play with your Steam friends. Mm. So that's the only thing I've seen happen recently. And I don't know if they have plans for the future, but I mean, you're right. There is a market there. That, I always hated that on, say, Battlefield, where my dad has it on Xbox, some of my friends have it on PlayStation, some of my friends have it on PC. Granted, no, the consoles can't play with PC. That's just dirty. But
that would be an issue.
Yeah, but if if I could have my battle log info be cross-platform, that's something I've always wanted to see. Why can't I have this? Well, I buy both copies on Xbox and PlayStation 3. Why can't my stats carry over? Mm-hmm. It's not like I hacked one console to get better stats than the other. It's just I want my it's still just that they can't really communicate that way. They won't let them have that sort of security, like, writing to a system. I mean, it's just a weird. I'm pretty sure it's just a political thing.
And often it hurts the epicness of the game. Like, the game could be better. Destiny could be just blown out of the water if it was cross-platform. And
if it was on PC, there would be a huge like niche of just people that would play that nonstop. Because, like I said, there's an MMO aspect. You have, I think, 3 different classes you can play as, 3 different races you can play as. There's 4 different enemy species. There's factions you can join, different weapon slots you can do, different armor slots, different types of armor, all this different stuff out there that you can do with it. And with PC, that would be, amazing for some people, just because it's a cross between an MMO and a first-person shooter, like, at heart, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the main problem here is us. Okay, I mean, look at the previous past episodes of Fight, but one episode we went Xbox One versus PS4, who's getting what, why, and how we feel about the other and all this kind of stuff. We have allowed Sony and Microsoft to, not us together, because we're like, hey, you're getting the PlayStation, you suck, I'm getting an Xbox One, and we all laugh, ho, 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 and we all go about our merry way. But there are some people that are really anal retentive about their console and their brand of console. And we've, I think, allowed ourselves to be manipulated to a certain extent to Sony or to a Microsoft, and they've drawn this division between the two, so that even we don't speak up as a gaming community. We don't speak up enough to say, hey, you know what? We want this stuff to be cross-platform. It doesn't matter. We have Xbox or we have PlayStation. We're going to buy the game for our respective stuff, but we want to play with our friends too. I just don't think that there's enough of an outcry from the gaming community to really make them want to do it. Because like Din said, I mean, I don't think that this is like some kind of leading edge technology.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would require, freaking Albert Einstein. I think it's us. You know what I mean? We're not, and I'll cover this when it's my turn, but we're not voicing our opinion enough to the gaming companies, and they're like, hey, tough shit, you're still going to pay us your $200 for the console and $60 per game, and you guys can cry, and you'll just learn to like it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I could be wrong.
Yep.
Well, no, I think you're right. I think it's either going to take us, maybe just us, the video gamers, or maybe us in conjunction with some of these studios to say, hey, we're not going to put out this game unless we can do it the best possible way and make it cross-platform.
There seems to be a push to want to do an MMO or an MMO type style of game.
People are trying, yeah.
And on a console. And hey, look, I'm all for that. But as a former WoW poop soccer, and that's probably about the 19th time I've said it this episode, the main thing about an MMO is multiplayer. And you want to have friends, and part about it is making friends. Like when I first started playing WoW, I didn't know anybody that played WoW. I just said, shit, here's an advertisement, I'll give it a try. I met people through the game, and it was never an issue. Oh, you play WoW, what server are you on? Well, I'm on this server. Let's, make a character on each other's server, and there was never this cross-platform, oh, you're on Xbox, oh, I'm on PlayStation, my bad. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything like that. So if you want to make an actual MMO for a platform, you've got to make it cross-platform because it depends on the millions of people.
Yeah, true.
I'm just saying.
All right, let's get back to Destiny a little bit more, and then we'll call it here.
Right.
You mentioned that there was only 3 classes?
Yeah, to start with, because as most people actually don't know, Bungie made a 10-year deal with Activision to do the game and all of its expansions. So the game will end up being done in 2024.
2024?
Yeah, 10 years of this game.
They're expecting the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, and PS3 to really last a long time, aren't they?
Unfortunately, the 10-year deal is with the next-gen consoles, not with the current gen.
Yeah.
Because, as we probably know, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 only have about a 3-year lifespan left on them. Yeah. That's what I'm read with the press-wise. But they do plan on adding more classes as the expansions come out, as well as, possibly more races you can play as. Because right now, the races, they only have humans, Exos, which are kind of like Terminator-style war machines, and you have the Awoken, which are like... can't really say what the Awoken are. They're gray-skinned, yellow-eyed, kind of like the next evolution of humans, kind of born in this energy that emits from this giant orb.
I'm thinking V here, like lizard people.
Yeah, I'm thinking Night Stalker X-Men.
Possibly so, yeah.
So, orb.
With me if you want to live.
This big orb, what is the story of this thing?
The story of the orb, everybody calls it the Traveler. It is a giant, alien artifact that one day appeared on Earth during this giant war between alien species and humans, and it somehow eradicated the species that was, hurting the human race, and everybody decided to gather under one last remaining city underneath what's called the Traveler, and that city is called Traveler's Rest, and that's where, you as a Guardian live, and it's basically Earth's last human city, in the galaxy.
Figures, us humans, we suck. Gotta fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hide under some balls.
Really cool. That sounds really cool. I haven't researched much of anything on Destiny, just from what you've been saying in chat, Bruce, and everything like that.
Yeah.
But now that you're getting more into detail, it really sounds cool, at least.
Yeah. And this is something else that... Go ahead.
The whole thing is just keeping players interested, and that's where WoW really excels at that. And for an MMO type of aspect, is it keeps players wanting to grind that gear. That's why I think so many people are losing interest in GTA 5 Online. It's just, what am I grinding for? There's not enough content there. So it all depends on how often they release new content.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm just laughing at this how people really know about the 10-year release plan, because I mean you hear like the DLC releases for games now, and they hear like in the next coming year you'll have 6 releases, and they're like, oh my god, why can't I have them now? 10 years, dude, that's like people.
Imagine the DLC list if it were ever to come out on PC on Steam. You think Borderlands 2 is bad?
There's people.
Oh my gosh!
There's people are going to start playing the game, have kids, and then have their kids be playing the game at the end of the DLC cycle.
Take my character over.
That's crazy. It's not going to happen. I'm going to call it here.
I don't see it.
I'm calling it here. 4 years. It's tanked. Nobody's playing it.
I think 4 years is kind of long myself. I mean,
I'm being optimistic for them.
Okay. I mean, just you guys would know. I wouldn't, because I'm a new console person. I'm a new noob. Xbox 360 and PS3. What was their lifespan from release, actual being able to buy it, till say November when PS4's out? 5 years.
It's actually, for the Xbox, it's been 8.
8?
Yeah, it came out in 2005, I think.
The 360.
Yeah.
So then it has to be 7 years for PS3.
It was 2006, November 2006 for PS3.
Wow.
Yeah,
then I'm completely effing clueless, and I can sit back there. It just doesn't seem that long.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
I think the Sony execs said it would have a 10-year lifespan, so Broseph was kind of right when he said about another 3 years, I think, they have in the current gen. That's usually what they shoot for. They did that with PS2 as well. PS2 hung around. They kept making games for some reason.
Yeah.
For PS2 after PS3 was really popular. So that's what they do.
Makes the transition very smooth.
But there's also a lot of used systems that people sell, especially GameStop and places sell the systems where they get a little cheaper then, and people who are, say, less affluent go and they buy those older systems and get the older games and play them. I mean, there's people buying Wii's now for, I don't know why either, but...
Surprising.
Yeah, that thing's a paperweight.
Yeah.
Look, dude, I got one, but I don't touch... I'm not... Look, if I want to exercise, I actually go out and exercise. If I want to play a video game, I want to sit there on my dumper and be just a useless load.
What is this exercise thing you speak of?
I don't know. I've heard people talk about it. I don't know.
Can I go back to Broseph here for a second?
Yeah,
I
sure.
didn't realize that my mic was muted there for a little while.
All good.
Sure.
Oops.
All good.
Pro. I was watching some gameplay.
Yeah.
And how is this any different than Halo?
Well, that's a really, really good point.
I'll answer that next time. Hey.
The question coming.
It's Halo Food. Say it.
Well, Bungie did say this is a completely new universe, nothing to do with anything involved in the Halo universe at all. Even though it does kind of look like a Halo-esque game, that's just Bungie's style. From day one, Bungie had Marathon on the Mac and PC, and even looking back at Marathon compared to Halo, it's still a part of it. They even added Oni that was in Marathon to Halo as well. So that's just been Bungie's style ever since, and I appreciate their style, and that's kind of where I started. Was I played a little bit of Marathon, and then I got right into Halo, and I've always enjoyed it. And that's
So why call it a new game? Why not just name it Halo 5? Because it really looks the same. I'm sorry, it really does.
Look, let's be honest here. Let's just say Bungie went on the freaking cheap and used the same character model.
Why you gonna hate copy paste? Okay, why you gonna hate it?
Copy paste, bro.
Control C, Control V.
Control
copy
Control
paste.
V all day, every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it. Look, look. I'm looking at it from a different perspective, Canny. I'm looking at it. Okay, it might have the same kind of textures or whatever as Halo does, but it's the actual gameplay, the missions, whatever kind of infrastructure they have within it. If it's different, I think it benefits us all. I think it'll create a whole different niche of game that other people will try and emulate, depending on the success of it, of course. I mean, I don't think that Bungie has been very out there with their advertising and everything.
Yeah.
I think you probably should be hired by Bungie, Halo, Broseph to Halo.
I wish, Jesus Christ.
To advertise
Yes,
this
that'd be
because
awesome.
my eyes bleed every time you come into a chat and it's like Destiny's like, oh my god. No, I'm joking. But no, I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong though, Broseph. They just have not been very out there with their advertising. Yeah, see Bungie shirt and shit. I mean, look at this crap. They haven't been very out there, and I think with a game of this magnitude and probably the money they're putting into it, let's
Oh yeah.
let's admit it, it's a lot of money. They probably need to be much more out there.
Yeah.
They definitely do.
All right, bro. So thank you, sir. We are going to wrap up the show here soon, guys. I'm just going to cover new releases, but if anybody in chat has any questions for anybody, now's the time to post them if you want us to address anything.
I don't get a turn? What is this?
What were you going to talk about? Oh, yeah, that's right, Kev. Go ahead.
Man, dude, I'm telling
Well,
you.
everybody sit back and relax for a little bit.
Go ahead, sir.
You know what? F you, Kenny. I just want to talk about,
Right.
of course, because I'm an AC Assassin's Creed whore. AC4 Black Flag. Big news is that Ubisoft went ahead and reversed their stance on you have to pay to get the full single player experience. I think that is fabulous because they actually listened to their player base. The player base said, I just spent $60 on a game. I want to play single player. I want to get the whole experience. You're making me pay for this. This is retarded. So, I just wanted to throw it out there that good job, Ubisoft. Listening to the people who actually bought your game and pay your salary, I think that's fabulous. See, I'm done. There you go.
Actually, I have a quick question for Kev, believe it or not. Now, Kev,
Okay.
you're talking about the actual Uplay passport itself?
No, the Uplay passport is just like, I don't know, kind
It's
of like
achievements and stuff, isn't it?
yeah, and it's kind of like, when you would play GTA 4 on PC where it had like the games for Windows, you had to have an account. That's totally different. Like I play AC3 that I've been streaming recently without the Uplay passport. It's not really necessary.
Yeah.
But what they did was they made you pay for like a membership, okay,
Yeah.
to be able to get the full single player experience, and your multiplayer. Which multiplayer for me on Assassin's Creed, it's like,
Who cares? Yeah.
no,
Yeah, it's
who
pretty
cares?
boring.
I really don't care. I don't do it. But you pay $60 for a freaking game, you should get the full game for single player. I mean, it's $60. Bite me if you want, And everybody had a fit over it. And Ubisoft said, you know what? You guys are right. Dick move. We're not going to do that anymore. And you can just go ahead and download everything for free right now. And we won't do this ever again. Which is nice because they're like, a lot of game companies, if they reverse themselves to say, okay, we won't do this for this title anymore. Then would come out AC5 and it's like, pay for everything. Ubisoft said, we'll never do this again. So, I mean, have we been screwed by game companies before? Yes.
Personally, I hope that they're looking to transition from AC over to Watch Dogs, and that becomes their new brand.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
I'm kind of done with AC. Yeah, I like it. It's cool.
I don't know, man. I like, seriously, after AC3, I was like, fuck you, Assassin's Creed. It really broke my heart. I mean, as much as, I know that sounds really bad. Like, there's other things
Dear
that
Diary,
are broken about you. Dear Diary, AC3 broke my heart. I'll never recover. But AC4 is completely different. I hope to get it soon when it releases on PC. Just because AC3 is the first AC title I've owned on Xbox, and it has texture popping issues and stuff like that. Still, I just want to get it for PC. But the game looks and supposedly feels a lot like AC2 in the fluidity of climbing buildings and all this kind of stuff. It feels very old school Assassin's Creed, which is why you play Assassin's Creed. Yeah. So, with a whole new storyline and everything. So that is much better than the Mayan calendar debacle that was AC3 and Yama-ing and everything like that. So,
Agreed.
I think Ubisoft seems to be a really good game company insofar as they look at sales numbers and then they listen to their people and they're like, yeah, okay, we'll admit AC3 sucked ass, our bad. Let's go ahead and bring it back to where it should be. And I think AC4 does it really well.
Yeah, and getting it on PC is going to be the way to go until we all get like next gen consoles, because you'll still be able to enjoy like 60 frames and all that, and high quality graphics. So
yeah, so that's all I wanted. So there you go.
All right, well, thank you, Kev. Thank you, guys. Again, if you guys have any questions, post it in chat right now. I'm just going to cover some new releases coming out this week between November 10th and November 17th. So we have Need for Speed Rivals coming out, cross-platform, PC included. Two Brothers, PC and Mac. Oh boy, PC and Mac.
Oh boy.
Diggs Nightcrawler coming out on PS3. It looks like some kind of bug.
Worms almost?
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, that's out on the 12th. NBA 2K14, Madden 25, FIFA 14. DuckTales Remastered is coming to console. Just Dance 2014 for Dinsdale and his stream.
Hey.
And a new Ratchet & Clank game coming out. And I looked at some of the graphics on that. It looks sick as fuck. Like, I couldn't believe how good it looked. It looks really good.
Throwback.
I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah. Injustice is coming to PC. What else we got? XCOM Enemy Within. The expansion for Enemy Unknown.
Waiting for that one.
Yeah, buddy.
How do you feel about that, Raffle?
I'm fucking stoked, dude. I can't wait to stream that on Tuesday. It's going to be awesome.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it, man. I love it when you play XCOM. Like, I can't, for some reason, like, Candy, God bless you, you got me XCOM, and I love you for it. I have a hard time playing it for some reason. For some reason, I can't get into it personally playing it, but I love watching you play the shit out of it. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just need to stream it, and I don't know.
Maybe name everyone after everyone in your chat or something funny like
piss
that.
Bottle, something like that.
Yeah, goofy shit. Save piss bottle.
Dog fart.
Yeah. Hashtag dog fart. That was awesome last night.
Oh, mine did that last night, and I really wanted to punch him right in the head.
Chivalry, Deadliest Warrior coming out on PC. I think that was already out or in some kind of beta, because I know a couple people were streaming it. But
yeah, it was in beta.
A game called Knacked, never heard of it. Killzone Shadowfall coming out on PS4. That's the big shooter.
Yep.
War Thunder is coming to PS4, which is pretty cool. Something called Deadfall Adventures on PC. Never heard of that one either. Another big title for a lot of people I've heard a lot of hubbub about. It's X Rebirth, which is kind of like Freelancer, I guess, but a lot more detailed. Never played it, but heard a lot of great things about it. Minecraft on PS4.
Yep.
Coming out this week.
Yeah.
Woo! Dive Kick on PS4, Warframe on PS4, Skylanders coming out with PS4 and Xbone One. Flower is being re-released for the PS4, which was a PS3 game. Let's see what else we got here that's notable. Lego Marvel Superheroes is coming to PS4. DC Universe is being transitioned from, I guess, PS3 to PS4, or in addition to, I'm not sure, but that's coming out.
Trine. In addition to, I think so.
Yeah. Trine 2, The Complete Story, and Blacklight Retribution coming out on PS4 this week as well. That's this week's releases, guys. So,
is it me, or is it like we've had a sudden rush of releases, and then now it's slow time? It just seems kind of odd. Usually the big releases come out around Christmas, and it just seems like...
Well,
it's been early this year.
The Call of Duty Battlefield cycle, if you follow that, you're dead, because everybody spent their money in the last week or two.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality. I hate to say that, but that's very true.
We got some good games coming out the week after. I mean, there's a Zelda game, there's Rise, Dead Rising 3. I mean, Zelda games are
Rise
huge.
for Xbox One looks effing amazing. And if anything's going to make me buy an Xbox One, it's going to be that game. That looks just sick as hell. I'm just saying.
Killer Instinct and Forza. Dins, you hit up that Xbox One truck.
I did. It was very pretty. I mean, the graphics are amazing. Killer Instinct was fun, although I didn't like the game to buy. That would not sell me on the console at all. It's an interesting fighting game if you like the old one, but it wasn't very intuitive, and I didn't have time to sit there and learn the moves, so it wasn't like I could just easily pick it up. It was very cool, but it just reminded me a lot of Street Fighter, the current gen Street Fighter. It was still a little shinier, but other than that, it was nothing that amazing. FIFA looked like it was a broadcast television event. It was pretty fluid. I didn't get to play much of it, but I like FIFA games, so it was pretty cool to see that. Again, not something I'd have to buy an Xbox for either. So that was, again, not a seller. Forza looked really cool, but it almost looked too artificial in person. I don't know if it was just the screen maybe or something, but it was like everything looked too plastic. It didn't have a certain filter that I would need to make it look like a real racing game to me. It looked
too shiny.
It literally was too shiny. That it was like everything looked like they were made out of this sort of glistening plastic, and it was like
trying to refine it too much.
Yeah, you had me at the, it really looks fast, and everything looks realistically, modeled, and the weather, and and the light and everything. But then when you get to the textures, it was just too. I mean, maybe I've never driven in a racing car to know that everything is shiny. I don't know, but it just didn't look real enough to me. It looked too real, too far. Like in the Hobbit movies came out, the last one came out, and they were like everything looks too real because it was filmed in this ultra high def film. I think it's the same thing. They're pushing too far, and you kind of lose that realism. And it's like it worked well. Nothing broke while I was there, so I can't say like they had an Xbox One failure. So everything was working, and
So if you weren't like a major PlayStation fan, it'd be something you'd look at. Is what I'm saying.
Well, see, I'm in that mode now. I get made fun of now at work, actually, because they're like, "You're such a PC elitist." I'm like, but that's so true that I run to just build a new PC. These consoles haven't sold me on anything.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing that I need from them that I can't get from my PC.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm feeling the same way. I was like ready to get them day one, and now I'm like, I'll wait because there's nothing there.
Destiny is the one thing so far that hasn't been announced for PC. Although I'm pretty sure they will if they want that 10-year thing to move on. That's the only thing I've heard. Is on Killzone maybe. I kind of want to play Killzone, but I'm not going to go spend on PS4 just for Killzone. So it's it's tough.
Well, I mean, I know what you mean because last Christmas was the first time I've gotten a console since the very first Xbox. So I've always been PC. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you look at the stats from the new gen, quote unquote new gen consoles. My PC's 5 years old, and my PC's benchmarks beat the new consoles stuff, hands down. So I know what you mean. It just kind of stinks that a lot of these developers don't seem to be doing PC releases. Have you noticed that? Or something like GTA 5. We're going to go ahead and release for Xbox, PlayStation first day. PC, you're going to have to wait 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I think in the software terms, they call it a guaranteed install base. There's these people who have those consoles they know they can market to. Whereas with PC, you have people, can they run this? What are their settings going to be? They know their install base on Xbox and PS3 right now, and the upcoming consoles are a certain number because they've sold so many consoles. They're guaranteeing they're going to get this much back. So they market towards that and push towards that. Because it's such a sketchy market sometimes for PC if people can't run it or have too many issues with their drivers or whatever. That's why a lot of these companies go that way. That's just unfortunate for PC gamers, but
I still got to say it though. PC is probably going to win out on the long run. I mean, we see the new gen consoles coming out, and it's basically becoming more and more and more and more of a PC. I mean, how long have we been able to get a TV card in our PC, hook it into our cable, and watch TV? And then look at the Xbox One release. TV. I mean, it's kind of like,
And having the flexibility of choosing what products we put in our case is, much more beneficial. So
your only limitation is your case size.
That's it.
But do we not think that Steambox is trying to make that transition?
Steambox is a fail. Steambox is a fail.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough sell, that's for sure.
I do have a question for Big D, though, with the Xbox One.
Yeah.
About the controller itself. How did it feel, the new rumble triggers and everything with it?
I didn't really notice the rumble triggers, to be honest. Maybe there's not something in Killer Instinct that was turned on or something. I don't know. Nothing was different to me that way. But a couple friends of us from my work were there, and they all said this feels more like a PlayStation controller now. It's smaller, it's less, it's not as heavy, and it seems to have shrunk a little bit. And the D-pad wasn't as textured as we liked. It seemed to be because they're trying to make it more ergonomic, but it was almost like you missed something there. So they were all like, "Well, if it was a PlayStation controller had triggers, I'd be fine." It's like, buy the triggers. I bought them for $5 at GameStop, and connecting them on, my PlayStation controller rocks. And so that controller, the new one, it felt fine. I mean, I have no problem with the other Xbox controllers. So
See that?
I didn't notice the triggers.
That's the main killer that's always killed me from PlayStation. Meanwhile, that I always felt that there was a difference between visually from the graphics of the PlayStation versus the Xbox. Okay, I always felt that the Xbox was better graphically than the PlayStation. Your mood may vary on that one, but the controller, the PlayStation was so thin and so, I don't know, it just didn't fit right in my hand. It didn't feel right, and the Xbox was beefier, I guess, if for the lack of the wireless one here. While it's back heavy and stuff like that for my Xbox, it's from the two toggle switches and everything like that, everything's pretty much right there where I can grab to it. And the PlayStation just felt very cramped and tight. And
well, it's the two sticks. They're so close together where the Xbox One is moved up to the left side a little bit higher up. It's much more comfortable, and your hands are just, there's less clutter.
Yeah, maybe.
So...
I'm just going to show it off, Kevin.
Hold up your controllers. All right, we're running long here. So let's do some shout-outs. Let's start with Canny.
You guys see it on screen. If you don't know who I am, you don't need to know.
Exactly.
You don't need to know. He's giving everybody the finger. Wipe my ass. There you go, Cannibal.
Dinsdale, shout-outs.
Well, you see my channel come through the screen here. I hope to be streaming again. I'm rebuilding my green screen as we speak. I went to the hardware store and I'm getting it set up. So we're going to start this again sooner or later. Dinsdale 1978. Follow me wherever.
Cool. Thanks, Dins. Go ahead, Broseph.
Shout out to my mom for pushing me out of her vag, I guess.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
But no, you guys see my Twitter. I randomly post about stupid stuff and whatever else, and I probably won't be streaming until I get that Xbox One and until I get my PC properly set up, because I have to get a new processor. Go me for frying everything that's in my PC for being a dumbass.
All right. Thank you, Broseph.
No problem.
Kev, shout-out, sir.
All right, first I'd like to thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, I would psych. I'm joking. Okay.
Amen.
Kevin McAvenny. If you can't spell it, it's right under there. If you can't read, I can't help you with that one because I don't do Braille. Streaming more Assassin's Creed 3 Yama time. We stop Yama time. Hopefully on our way to AC4 Black Flag for PC release. Streaming a lot of different games lately, so come check me out, hit me on all that kind of stuff, and yeah.
Double guns.
Yeah. And yeah, Twitch TV/Kevin's back. Thank you.
Yay.
If you guys want to come hang out.
All right. Thank you, Kev. This has been Hype episode 10. Take it easy, guys.
See ya.